never too big of a hurry to save a turtle. Let's save this guy before he gets ran over. Check out this little guy, guys. Put him over here where the pond is. Alright, that was a good deed of the day. Alright guys, I was out today and was driving down the interstate and got off on the wrong exit and came through this old neighborhood over here, and the sun was hitting just right and all this glass over here was glistening, and I had to stop and see if it was a dump. You can look down and see all the glass on the ground. There's some cobalt blue. Walk over here a little closer. There's some aqua colored glass. But just look at all of this glass. It is tons of it, tons and tons and tons. So, not sure if this was an old dump. It was an old dump of some sort, obviously. I mean, there's way too much glass for it not to be. I mean, look at this. It's everywhere. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to come back and dig a hole right around in here, if the landowner doesn't mind, and see if this is the old town dump. So we'll find out. This shows you how you have to keep your eyes peeled. We'll get back to you. Well guys, we wanted to get out and do some digging, but literally the heat index has been 105 here for the past week, and it's just too hot to get out and dig those deep holes. So we're going to be doing some creek walking again. While I was at the beach last week, there was some good rain, and it flooded the creeks pretty good, and it should have washed some bottles up. So we're going to see if we can pull any bottles out of the water today. No guarantees, but it's definitely going to be easier than digging a hole. I already see a piece to a crock or something right there. You see that? Oh, the bottom to a jug or something. That would have been neat. Would have been pretty neat. But anyways, instead of doing a bunch of little short clips, I figure I'll bore y'all and tell you my story of how I wound up getting into this crazy hobby that I'm in. I guess it all started whenever I was a kid. My dad had been doing this for years, back in the 70s and 80s. And I grew up kind of seeing bottles on the shelves and stuff like that, and never really thought anything about it besides my mom complaining about having to dust them. But I guess when I was about 7 or 8, my dad bought me my first dirt bike, and we would go out and ride the logging roads, or what we call the logging roads here in Alabama, and we would park and we'd get off and we would search for arrowheads. So in the very beginning, we were arrowhead hunters, surface finds only. We didn't dig or anything like that. We would pick up arrowheads out of the middle of the road. They would literally wash up, and we filled a display case up through the years with decent arrowheads, 1 or 2 tomahawks, and a couple of other pieces that had nice little drilled holes and stuff like that in it. But I really didn't get into bottle digging until I was 20 or 21. Me and my dad had a little side business going, and he had apparently run into somebody who told him about a local dump, and they had found it and they were doing really well there. And he told me, he said, "Hey, I want to take you by this local dump. Let's go see if we can find it." And so that's what we did. We finished the job up a little bit early, and after we finished the job up, after we finished the job up, we decided to go look for this dump that everybody was talking about. And big buckle or something. Anyways, we drove to the location, and we saw a field that had a bunch of guys in it that were literally up to their necks in holes, and all you could see were, it's really hard to explain. It was just dirt flying out of holes everywhere, and there was 5 or 6 cars parked, and we got out and we talked to a couple of the guys, and they had drove all the way from Georgia over to Alabama to dig in this one particular location. And my dad hadn't dug in over 20 years, so he was kind of rusty. We just decided to give it a shot, and we found us a spot. We started digging, and within the first hour I dug my first hutch, and I was pretty excited about that. Ooh, I see a bottle, guys. Y'all see that? Look right there. B-hole, come on. Oh, it's broke. Dang. Coca-Lula. Pioneer. Dang, I was hoping that one was whole for sure. Anyway, so my first bottle was actually a Hutchinson style bottle. And you know, not everybody's that fortunate, but for me, oh man, look at that, that's pretty cool. Piece of a gun. It was a cap gun though. Says Pony Boy on it. That's really cool. All right here. So it must have fell out of this bank right here that you see. Who knows? But anyway, so after that I was hooked. We spent another hour or two that day digging. Didn't find much more than that one soda. Got home and my wife wanted to know why I was covered in dirt from head to toe, and I thought she was gonna think that I was crazy telling her about telling her about digging bottles. So I told her about it, and to my surprise, she wanted to go the next time we went. So the following week we woke up early, we went out there on a Saturday, we dug all day and we cleaned up. We found a ton of bottles. We had a blast while we were doing it, and needless to say, we became one of the only husband and wife digging teams in this area. There's one other couple that does it, but other than that, it was just me and her, and we've had a blast doing it through the years. Obviously, she doesn't go out with me nearly as much now because of our daughter. She doesn't have time to step away from her at the minute, but just as soon as my daughter is old enough to get out and about, I plan on having her involved in this lifestyle as well, as long as she wants to be, which she's only 2, so we've got a few years to go. The creeks and stuff right now, she'd probably have a blast in them, but as far as digging, it's just not a safe thing for a younger child to be involved in. I'm seeing glass down here. There's a piece to one. That was a soda. You can see it was embossed right there. And then I saw a flask piece right there. And there's a piece of ceramic. Man. We may actually find a good bottle today, guys. I hope I do for y'all. Anyways, I just figured I'd give y'all a little bit of a rundown of how I got into all this craziness, and I'll get back with you whenever I find something here in a minute. I see another bottle sticking out right here. It looks like it's got a broke top on it. Oh, broken half. Another Coca-Cola. Cracked right down the middle. Alright, we'll keep going. Creek's a little bit muddy downstream. Right down through here you can see it's still up pretty high. I keep hearing something up there in the woods, kind of creeping along the edge. I don't know what it is. Wait to see if it's a deer or a turkey or what. I don't know. A dragonfly. But either way, we're starting to get down here where there's going to be another sandbar, so probably be some more glass. We'll get back with you in just a second. That looks kind of interesting. Ooh. Maybe some kind of sconce or candle holder. I don't know. Probably a candle holder. Definitely getting older for what we're looking for. Guess we'll keep going just a little bit further. Here's a bottle bottom right here. It's probably just gonna be the bottom. Oh, good. Supposed to be a Pioneer bottle that works. That was probably an elk hutch. That's alright though. We'll keep going. Looks like the pond's lit. Oh. It says, what does that say? Natanola? I don't know. We'll keep going. Here's one down here. Again, it's got a broke top though. Let's see. It was a circle slug Pioneer. Dang. I hate that. Everything's been being broke today. Doesn't mean I won't find a whole one here in a minute. Just means that I gotta have persistence to keep going. So I'll keep going and see what else we can find the next few minutes. Alright, I'm back where I started. I decided to look over here one more time before I get out of here. Wrapping up this quick lunchtime hunt. See if there's anything I missed. There's a jug top right there. Oh, just pretty neat. But I don't really collect those. Tristan does. And I pulled a doorknob out of the bank over there, which was pretty neat. It's been a slower day, but for this quick, like I said, hour-long hunt, you really can't complain. Anytime you're finding 100-year-old stuff, it's a blast. Not to mention the creek keeping me cool while it's 105 degrees everywhere else. Just up there in the sun, it's that much hotter. The sun does help with the creek, though. I will say that. If the sun isn't shining where you're looking, it doesn't pierce the water for you to be able to see through to the bottom. But today's been on or off with the sun, and the water's just a little bit muddy. So if it doesn't rain for the next couple days and it drops a little bit lower, then I'll come back and look again. But either way, I appreciate y'all tagging along for the short hunt. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.